The scent of her perfume still lingered. In the air a sickeningly sweet jasmine that had once been my favorite. It clung to the sheets, the pillows, the very fabric of our bedroom, a constant reminder of the lies that had been woven into the tapestry of our marriage. Sarah had always been meticulous, a creature of habit, which was why her sudden change in routine had been the first red flag. Late nights at the office, weekend conferences, out of town, a newfound need for privacy with her phone, each detail seemingly insignificant on its own, had coalesced into a suffocating blanket of suspicion that had kept me awake countless nights. I tried talking to her, of course gently, at first my voice laced with worry rather than accusation, but she'd met my questions with evasion, with a practiced sigh and a dismissive wave of her hand. "You're being paranoid, Marge," she'd say, her eyes avoiding mine. "You're imagining things." And maybe I was. I thought in those desperate moments when denial felt safe than truth, but the knot of dread in my stomach had only tightened. So I'd started paying attention. I'd become a detective in my own life, meticulously piecing together the jigsaw puzzle of her infidelity, the credit card bills with unfamiliar restaurant names, the whispered phone calls she'd taken, the hallway, the subtle shift in her body language when I tried to touch her. They all pointed to the same horrifying conclusion. And then last Saturday I found the jacket. It wasn't just any jacket, it was a men's leather bomber jacket, expensive, with a distinct smell of sandalwood and something else I couldn't quite place, something that didn't belong in our house. She tried to hide it, stuffed haphazard behind the coat in the hall closet, but I had seen it. I hadn't said anything at the time, instead opting to play the part of the clueless husband. It was an agonizing weight, like holding my breath underwater, but I knew I needed to do it right, and the perfect opportunity presented itself. Tonight, Sarah was going out again, a girls' night. She'd called it a new addition to her social calendar. She'd been in the bathroom for the last hour, the sounds of the hairdryer and her muffled singing grating on my nerves. I Saturday on the edge of the bed, flipping through an old magazine, pretending to be engrossed while my insides churned with a mix of anger and despair. The bathroom door finally opened and she emerged, a vision of polished perfection. A low-cut crimson dress hugged her figure, and her hair, a golden cascade of waves, was perfectly styled. She looked almost like the girl I had fallen in love with, the girl I had vowed to spend the rest of my life with almost. But the sparkle in her eyes was not for me, and her smile was too practiced, to rehearsed. "I'm ready," she announced, her voice a little too cheerful. "You look beautiful, Sarah," I said, my voice devoid of emotion. It was a performance I'd been rehearsing in my head for days. She breathed the compliment, oblivious to the coldness that lay beneath my words. "Thanks," she said, grabbing her clutch from the dresser. "Don't wait up, I'll probably be late." She leaned down to give me a quick, perfunctory kiss on the cheek, her lips barely brushing my skin. It was like kissing a stranger. "Have fun," I said, my eyes fixed on her. The casualness in my tone was a stark contrast to the fury building within me the second the front door clicked shut behind her. I was up, my movements quick and purposeful. I to the hall closet, reached behind the coats, and pulled out the bomber jacket. It was heavier than I remembered, the leather supple and worn in all the right places. I walked back into the bedroom, tossed it on the bed, and waited and waited. The minutes stretched into an eternity. I could hear the ticking of the clock, each tick a mocking reminder of the time she was wasting with someone else, time she should have been spending with me. My anger was a living thing inside me, a hot, seething mass threatening to erupt. I took several deep breaths, trying to maintain control, trying to hold on to the plan I had so carefully crafted. Finally, I heard the soft thud of her footsteps on the stairs. The front door clicked open, and then I heard her light steps in the hallway. The bedroom door swung open, and Sarah stepped into the room, her smile faltering slightly when she saw me sitting on the edge of the bed, the jacket in my hands. Her eyes widened in horror, the color draining from her face. It was almost comical, the way her mask of composure crumbled. The cheerful facade was gone, replaced by naked fear. "What is that?" she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't answer her. Instead, I held up the jacket, letting it dangle from my fingers, the fabric swaying in the dim light. Her eyes were glued to it, her face now a mask of pure panic. She understood what this meant. This wasn't just about a jacket, it was about betrayal, about the months of lies she had spent, about the life we had built together that she had so casually shattered. "It's a jacket," I said, my voice flat and emotionless. "I believe it belongs to someone else." "No," she said, her voice rising in pitch. That's not what you think, isn't it?" I asked, my eyes locking on hers, letting all the pain I had endured shine through. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. The fear had paralyzed her. I stood up, the jacket still hanging limply in my hand. I walked slowly towards her, each step deliberate, Like a predator stalking its prey. I know, Sarah, I said, stopping in front of her. I know about the late nights, the conferences, the whispered phone calls. I know about him. A single tear traced a path down her cheek, but I felt no sympathy, only a cold, bitter satisfaction at seeing her finally stripped bare. How did you find out? She asked, her voice cracking. It doesn't matter, I said. What matters is that you broke the vows you made to me. You betrayed me, Sarah. You betrayed us. I dropped the jacket on the floor between us like an offering or a gauntlet. I want you to leave now, but where am I supposed to go? She stammered. That's not my problem, I said, my voice hard and unforgiving. You should have thought about that before you decided to sleep with someone else. She looked around the room, her eyes searching for something, anything. She saw the photos on the dresser, the ones of us of our life together, and for a moment I thought she might finally understand the magnitude of her actions, but then her eyes hardened. Fine, she said, her voice laced. W